Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or if you're like me and you've just woken up, good morning to you all, and welcome to the TCS eSports League. We're into week 7 of our 14-week league play season. Of course, the halfway point has now come among us. I'm Switchblade Jay. Joining me, as he always does, is Digital Bacon. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. Like, you're a little bit tired. I didn't just wake up. I got
very
a
tired. I should probably clarify. Very tired.
But yeah, just excited to get on with this, and a great first game, of course, Servette Geneva going up against Silent Gaming. But as we know, Jay, every single game in this league is sort of great in its own little way, isn't it?
Yeah, every single game seems to matter, but of course each of these teams play each other twice, as the way that the whole system works. A double round robin means that this is going to be the last week when we're going to be seeing fresh new matches. Now we'll have history to pull from when we come to compare these teams against each other, so a lot of important results tonight. Of course, we're going to cross that halfway point, and we're really going to start to set in stone who is going to be making it into our top 4, and by extension, who is going to be going to the LAN finals in Zurich. It's going to be a very fun time. We've got a couple of good matches to take a look at, with the first being Servette versus Silent Gaming, a fun little match that we have to talk about. Bacon, of course, you've already done your little research. I just woke up, so I haven't. So let's talk about this match real quick before we get into it.
Yep, so Servette Geneva have been going on an absolute tear. They had their only loss earlier into the season against Team Sir, if I do believe I'm right. I'm quickly bringing up. Yep, it was against Team Sir in week number 2. They got a win against Lausanne, which no one was sort of expecting. Essentially, Lausanne coming into this league was sort of the unstoppable force, but Servette made sure to stop them there, and that's, well, Lausanne's only loss as well. So Servette are currently joint first, up at the top with 5 wins and 1 loss, like I said earlier, to Team Sir. So they're in a very good state here. Silent Gaming actually started off league play on an absolute tear themselves in week 2 and 3. They got wins. First win against Monk, and the second win against Arctic Progressive, now Arctic Gaming. They've made their name a little bit easier for us casters. And then unfortunately after that, Jay, they've gone on a pretty bad streak, 3 games in a row. So today they're going to be looking to end that streak and make it up, probably try and claim the 4th spot in the league.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, that 3 series losing streak is probably not going to favour them too much going into this match against Servette. You certainly would consider Servette to be the favourites in this matchup. Of course, best of 5 rules also doesn't lead to the favour of Silent, maybe getting a 1 victory upset or 2 victory upset and then just walking away out of that. So you do have to kind of see if you can count their lucky stars. Unfortunately for me, I'm kind of leaning to the favour of Servette on this one. As much as I love the boys over on the Silent side, I have not started to notice a trend between this team, however. In general, over the last few weeks, they've sort of ramped up their defensive game more than their offensive game, and I think that might have to that might be a bit more of a test to Servette, the team that generally tend to work very very aggressive play style and put much more shots on target than I think most of the other teams are in the league itself.
Yeah, Servette are a brilliant, like, just mechanical team. They've got a lot of chemistry between them. Silent Gaming have been really working for it. Like, these last 3 weeks were losses, but not for, you know, a lack of trying. Last week against Helvets is purely because Helvets absolutely turned up. That was the most impressive game of the season for them. Silent Gaming put on some good work. I mean, there's that absolute nutty goal from Syntax that we got clipped. I saw it posted all about Twitter. It's just, it wasn't enough. And Silent Gaming were there pretty, you know, shocked about it. It was a 3-1 series, and most games pretty close. Like, the first game, Silent won 2-0, then Helvets won 2-1, 2-1 for the third game, and then Silent Gaming lost the very last 4th game 4-3. So 1 goal separating those 2 teams throughout. So a super close series when you think about it.
Yeah, and this one may end up being close enough if Syntax can lead his team on that defensive line. So let's see what they'll be able to do. Before we get into our matchup, Bacon, I want to ask for your quick predictions. I'm going Servette. Are you needing the same?
It's got to be Servette as well. Like, you know, on paper, they are always the strongest team. Silent Gaming, we've seen them do upsets before, and, well, we can only hope they can cause upsets again, because as always, Jay, being a caster, being a spectator, we want this to be Game 5. And hell, a reverse sweep would even be the icing on cake here.
Indeed, it seems that may be the case, but let's start with our first game, of course. in the matchup itself. On the blue side, Servette will be taking the corner and Silent will be on the orange side of things. So let's see who's going to be able to take this opening game right here as we kick things off. Syntax looking to try and take it. Actually, it's Cactus to try and take the early kickoff advantage, challenged by Sack, and Syntax just here with the Batmobile going to try and take control in the orange half midfield. Now controls it past Affair, not past Sack though, and Sack's going to get it past everybody. Italy just comes back and holds on. So the defensive play style from Silent will work up initially. Servette back over, going to keep the offensive line held out from the Servette side. Now Sack away, Captain going to put a shot on target, very, very close. This Affair should be able to get the clear for. Sack to follow through as well, but going to be denied by Italy as he challenges the man. Gets the 100 boost for the midfield control, but rotations have to come back thick and fast. Syntax cutting the clear out. Captain going to try and follow through as the redirects are good off the backboard. Servette could get a double touch in, and barely an angle being taken. Still, Servette just pips it a little bit, and he actually will kick things off. 4 minutes and 15 on the clock. The first has been scored by Servette Geneva.
Yeah, Servette here just with 20 boosts. That's all he needed to get up, climb the ladder, and put that ball down. Jay, one thing I want to take notice as well, Syntax rocking the Batmobile. It's the first time he's deviated away from the Octane.
Yeah, and that's quite a curious sort of choice as well. Obviously, it kind of does feed, you know, generally the meta seems to go to the favor of the Batmobile and the Octane. Most players picking the Octane above the Batmobile, but I wanted to probe your mind about this real quick, because like you said, this is the first time that Syntax has made this decision. Why do you think he would have tried? I guess maybe it would be that defensive play style, and so far it's working out really, really well, but is there any sort of deeper thought behind this particular change in the guard?
It is literally going to be, like I said, to try and bolster their defense. The paddle sort of form that we call it of the Batmobile is just better on defense because you can cover more of the goal. Syntax is one of these players that goes from end to end, so he's thinking about that very, very logically. And we're going to see coming into this that maybe Silent Gaming are just trying to do a bit of damage control. It's not taking as many goals as they possibly can.
And they've been held back in their half of the pitch for quite some time now, only getting the occasional clear, which is cleared right back from Servette. So still looking extremely good for the boys in blue. In fact, Servette's going to try and go for a redirect a little bit too far back, so Syntax are going to get it back away. Both the Batmobiles challenging each other, and overall it's Syntax to win out the fight against the second defender. Now Italy to go for the aerial, challenged by Servette, puts it right back off that backboard. Cactic will get it past Sack temporarily, but once again it's Flav and Servette to challenge. Italy will be avoiding the ball in all circumstances here. Cactic try to challenge. Syntax does get it back away before it gets towards the backboard. We'll go off the backboard. Second touch will put it a little bit high. Sack going to try to dunk it down, but Italy is there to defend it. All three players committing towards that ball. They've got to try and refine their line because they're running out of boost. They're running out of chances. Sack with an open net, not quite going to find it. Syntax puts that one and disrupts it off target. Means that the ball will not be scored for a second time by the Servette side.
Yeah, you are saying about this defense being a bit hectic and all over the place. The problem is the attack as well is just being too optimistic with their hits. They're going very wide and wild here, Jay. Not really making the mark at all. And hits towards the center are better like that. But again, the follow-through is not going to be found there. Accuracy needs to be picked up from Servette here.
And if the accuracy is not picked up, then Silent do stand a decent shout here. Just bide their time, hold back in their net and in their side of the pitch. Trust if they can find a way to break through. In fact, that's probably the opportunity right here. Cactic over to the right-hand side. Italy's going to try and find a way to challenge the fair. Will be successful in doing so. Follow-up shot. Syntax can take it. No, he's a little bit too far forward, and the ball will just be put out of the side of the net instead. Clear is going to be allowed for the Servette side as a result, as they put a shot on target. Actually, a little bit too wide from Servette, my mistake. Syntax able to take control, puts it right back over to the other side, into the corner. He will follow it. Italy being outplayed by Servette. Sack follows the ball into the orange half once again. Cactic over to the blue corner. Italy on the other side alongside Syntax. Won't be able to challenge this. Will eventually be able to set it up. Shot to come through from Cactic. No. Defended by Flav.
Both these two teams really prodding each other. Like I said though, Jay, there's no sort of calculated formation to it all. Nice hit over there to the side by Italy, but you can see Cactic, the sub, going up for it as well. Two lads not communicating effectively. We expect this, and no one online to get that.
Just a little bit of a failing in the defensive in this case, and that is unfortunately going to put that second on the board for Servette. Silent, unfortunately, have to do some serious adjusting, but I don't even think it will come through in this game. 60 seconds a little under that to score 2 in a row for that Silent side. They will kick things off on the right foot. Ball not going to get challenged by anyone. Eventually, they're actually going to just leave it for Zafair there. He's got Flav in the midfield, back off the backboard redirect to come through. That's a third. Not quite getting through, actually. The post saves them, a sack there to recover, and there we go, 3-0. This is looking extremely solid now from Servette.
Yeah, damn, that was good. Just Flav coming up as well, sort of pulling out the defender, Zafair there, making the defender think that Zafair's the one going for the shot on goal. Flav jumping up for it, near enough from his blind spot, putting that down to the center and sack to follow on through, because it didn't quite meet the mark, but that is the follow through you need. If the shot does go a little bit wide, close there from Syntax, you've got to make sure you can follow through and make good of the opportunity. Something Servette haven't done up to this point in the game.
25 seconds here, the pressure's starting to mount. You might imagine that Silent be looking towards that game too, because game 1 looks like it might just be a lost. Time's ticking. Chance here for Cactic, but Zafair's going to put that off target, and the last 10-second countdown will ensue. At this point, it pretty much confirms what we know, that there is no way for Silent to come back into this game here. With one final clear, Cactic with one final setup, Syntax missing it, and at this point, it's all for naught. Maybe a consolation goal, not quite. Sack denies, and there we go. Game 1 to the favour of Servette Geneva, as they didn't look 100% confident in the early part of the game, but they certainly got themselves back together, and they were able to take a dominant 3-0 as a result.
Yeah, and what we saw there at the very end, the last 30 seconds, was Silent Game starting to get aggressive, which is something they need to do more of, Jay. They need to be playing super fast and a very nice playmaker style between them. They don't have Synox this week, which is going to hit them. Synox was their main defender. That could largely be why Syntax has moved over the Batmobile, because he's got to pick up that role. I mean, if you got a week to near enough go away, going up against the hardest opponents, or games where on paper you're not expected to win, is probably the best week to do it, because Silent Gaming are here looking to get that sort of 4th or 5th spot, aren't they? So a win against the top 2 team is very unlikely, even with Synox on this. So here, they're just sort of trying to reduce the damage, and they're playing a very defensive style, if you notice, because like I said earlier, they're trying to not take in as many goals as possible. They're just basically trying to play this game super clean and by the book.
Yeah, unfortunately not the cleanest game from the Silent side. It's certainly suffered quite a lot in terms of those goals. 3-0 against them. Let's hope the series does not go the same way. Game 2 coming up right here. Let's see whether Cactic can step things up in that defensive line. He will be able to get the early kickoff follow through. But Zafair and Flav already going to get themselves pushed up so close towards the net, and inside the box the ball will go, but Syntax able to push it out of the way and deny the shot that was coming through. Trying to see if they can return back as well as defensive. Trying to line up here for Silent Gaming. Just trying to get the offense, a good doink there, but the ball will just be off to the side instead of directly on center. So Zafair, demoed out, but still gets the ball on the clear. Syntax going to have to take control of that midfield, but Flav can follow it all the way up for the flip reset opportunity. Missing the ball entirely. Ooh, but misses coming through from Syntax as well. That's not great again. Starting to crumble from the Silent side. The defensive not looking the same way as they wanted to. Even the defensive players from that squad just not able to find their line of form.
A lot better from Sun here, though. They are just holding it out. Like I said, though, still very hit and miss from both sides here. It's definitely feeling like a mistake is what is going to cause this first opening goal.
The mistake found here on the open net, and there it is. A passing play easily from Sack to Flav. They read it perfectly. There was no one on that left side net. So 1-0 for Servette at the minute marker.
Yeah, Flav here coming in. Perfect sight. He saw the opportunity, dived on in, gets the ball into the net. And this is what Flav has been doing all season long, Jay. He hasn't been pulling off the fancy goals like Zafair or Sack. Instead, he has just been a solid workhorse to this team. Near enough taking that defensive role, and then that third man comes on in to clean up any sort of slips in the defense.
I think the ball going back towards that blue box, however. The chance been a bit opened up for Silent, but they can't seem to capitalise. Another good touch coming through on the 50-50 challenge from Syntax. But Cactic can't find a way in. Italy can't find the aerial either. So once again, they're just going to get forced back as Flav takes control of the ball back into the midfield, passing over to Sack himself. The ball will go out to the corner. Challenge once again by Italy. It's Sack to pop it up. Zafair to take the shot. Double touch coming through and almost found the position. Now Flav to try and recover it, but Syntax pushes it out of the way. So once again, just maintaining that ball control for the moment in time. Tries to get the counter attack up, setting up Syntax for a good touch, and that will be successful overall. Italy, however, can't get the aerial redirect, so it just goes back to that blue half corner. Still followed up by Cactic. Italy try and follow through off this backboard. Not going to happen. Servette just takes control of it, gets it back out for the clear. And while they will try, Silent run out of boosting, have to rotate and just leave it to the favour of the Servette's team.
They will indeed. And Servette here, they do have a little bit of a flaw, Jay, in their attack. They're sending all 3 players forward. That means if you can get a good counter out here, Silent, you're going to have the open net. Oh. Straight on through to the other side. Threaded the needle here, Flav.
No one there to take it. You would have thought that Cactic would have been able to find that position, but you know, I imagine that if it was Synox in that angle, then maybe that might not have been a goal scored. But unfortunately, that's just the way that the cookie crumbles right here. Silent now down by 2-0 as we approach this halftime marker. Zach up close and personal. Italy trying to see if we can find an way in. Flav gonna put a shot wide of the net. Good return, however, from Cactic, at the very least trying to make up from his mistakes and get a shot on net, but it's going to get returned so easily, so it's not really worth much in the grand scheme of things. Zach continues the ball pressure. Pass back from Cactic to Syntax. Flav now going to go off the backboard. Italy can't quite get this out of the way. It's set up for a third man to come through. Zafair also puts it off the crossbar. Zach can't quite recover, but Flav will. Not quite, actually. Italy comes in for the rotation, follows it all the way back into the midfield. Leave it up to Cactic to try to see if he can get it back out of this blue pitch. But once again, Flav is in that midfield. He's just going to take control of the ball.
Oh, trouble nearly there. Syntax getting this away brilliantly. Now, Jay, what I'm seeing is actually the defense from Silent Gaming isn't too bad. The problem is their sort of breakaways, getting the ball down to their opponent's end of the field. That's where they're struggling, essentially. So their defense will finally crumble because they're running out that boost. And what's on earth happened there from Cactic?
It did its best to get that clear, but again, he was too far forward. So when the shot came through from Flav, that was on target. The best he could do is put it into the post. Try to see if Syntax can find an angle, but Sakin's affair. Just going to pressure him down, and the accuracy, the shot accuracy from Servette is just looking so much better here in Game 2 than it did in Game 1. And that just only means a little bit of bad news for Silent. Now the defensive that was already looking a little bit shaky is just going to get smashed into pieces. 4-0 now for the Servette side as they look to try and put this Game 2 very quickly to bed.
Yeah, Cactic just not quick enough to get into the air, and that's, I wouldn't say necessarily his fault. He had to go up and challenge it, had to close out the angle, and unfortunately his opponent just too strong, putting into the capture straight down to the ground for Sack to put away. Demo's coming out as well. No. This was just diabolical. That was just horrid.
And Bacon challenging in, channeling his inner Danny boy there, because that truly was something else. 5-0.
The demo chase up. Ooh.
Yeah, 3-0, 3-0, sorry, and 3 goals for Flav as well, the hat-trick being taken by the man. And now you can sort of see Silent looking a little bit flustered trying to take this kickoff. They don't really know what they want to do, and don't really know what they can do. They only hope is that 60-second pause between this game and the next game to try to get the reverse sweep, because right now, it's looking like Game 2 might be a loss. Even a great setup from both those players couldn't be, well, could be stopped, I should say, from the Servette side. Sack in the back lines, puts it over off this backboard to keep it away from those players, so they can just get the clear, get the control, and set up one more attack.
Yeah, what we're seeing here as well is the Silent Gaming side trying to come up with strategies to beat their opponents. I'm noticing Italy actually not receiving the ball too much from his teammates. They need to start trying to find him with passes. Or Syntax go for his other place. But no, Italy needs to be the striker in this team. And yeah, no rotation here, buddy.
This is starting to look very dire, and unfortunately it was the expected result. But, you know, I was saying before the game started, before the series started, that if Silent can ramp up their defensive and they can keep it on solid, then they might be able to give Servette a run for their money. Unfortunately, that's turning out to be quite the opposite. The defensive has not kept up at all here in Game 2. 20 seconds remaining. Syntax going to try and see if he can take another risky play. It's going to get cleared right back to the orange half. Italy going to rotate into the corner. But yeah, 10 seconds remaining. Sack will put it off the backboard. Flav to dunk it down. Not quite going to get that 7th. So therefore they'll just keep it away from the net. Seems that Brazil is going to be denied in this case, as it will be a 2-0 in this series. Match point for Servette Geneva. Things are really not looking good for Silent Gaming. A consolation goal, maybe? Oh, not even the crossbar wants to have anything to do with that. That could have been a nice opportunity to get your motivation stunk up as well, but yeah, Silent just not having a good day today.
Yeah, and Jay, coming into this, it was already against Silent Gaming, bringing in a sub. Cactic has not been playing bad. It's just Rocket League is a 3 versus 3 game mode. That is 2 teams going up against each other. And Silent Gaming at the moment aren't looking like a team. It's almost like they're playing a solo standard game. It's because they've got no chemistry in their play styles due to the lack of Synox. Like I said, they're not actively looking for Italy with those passes. Syntax is trying to go for those cheeky little solo plays himself, but again, not a Synox to follow through as that third man to clear it and put it away. And it's just sounding harsh from me here, and I don't mean it to, basically putting the pressure on Cactic. It's almost feeling like because they're bringing in him as a sub, it's not. It's just the whole team together don't really know what to do in this situation. There's no clear way for them to beat out Servette. They've got a third game. This is going to be all on them during this break to sort of figure out a strategy. And it just seems, again, as well, Servette are pretty on form.
Yeah, very on form. You know, that first game was like, okay, maybe the accuracy's not quite 100% there. Maybe the Silent might be able to work off that, but
And
all those doubts are
for
now.
The third goal.
Yeah, you know, they found every single bit of form right now, and for Silent, it does not spell very good things. Let's see whether they can turn it out right here. As you say, it's all or nothing, fight or flight here for game 3. A full reverse sweep for Silent to find, and Zafair is going to put the first shot on target. Italy will be able to get the clear, and the defensive, I should say, and they're going to follow it all the way through the over-rotation. There we go, a nice start finally from Silent Gaming.
Passing aggression, Jay. I said this at the end of the first game. This is what they need to do. Just connect with each other. What do the Spanish players call it? A bit of bim bam, bim bam, bim bam. We're just passing it to each other and then smack it in the net. This is all you need. Silent Gaming are just a couple of demos away in that kind of play from being just perfect. Problem is their opponents are perfect in their own rights as well. Sack, unfortunately, just missing the net from that opportunist moment. Great block from Sapphire.
A nice position to be taken, but can't quite get the full frontal. The ball towards that blue half of the corner, through blue half of the pitch, I should say, into the blue corner. Now, Cactic sets up. Zafair will try and see if he can get the clear, and will be successful for a moment. Italy try and follow through, however. Passes back into Cactic's position, but Sack's going to get there first, reading it as appropriate. Syntax back into the blue half of that backboard. Unfortunately, Italy couldn't quite gain control of the ball, so it's up to Cactic once again. Ooh, but he's missed his ball opportunity. Now Sack's going to take control of it, tries to see if he can dribble it past everybody. Sets up his teammate, but not quite 100%. Zafair's not going to take that shot, so decide to back off, play towards that midfield once again. The ball will be pushed out towards that orange corner. Cactic takes control. Back out to set things up, but back and forth the ping-pong game starts to ensue between these clears. Zafair going to try and break the cycle as he follows the ball into the corner. Sack going to take a shot, a little bit too far wide this time. Means that Silent are going to gain themselves yet another lifeline.
Yeah, but Silent here are looking a little bit shaking the defense, a little bit antsy, as if they're not patient enough, Jay. We saw it, Cactic and Syntax going for the double commit in their saves. They just got to be communicating to each other. Don't stop talking, lads.
Continue the pressure up here from Servette, and Zafair's going to find the angle he needs as set up by Flav, and now it's all evened up.
What a setup, straight into the root, gets it off the curve perfectly to angle it for Sapphire in the top left corner. The defenders had to travel so far across the goal to get to that, and unfortunately it was just too far.
Syntax tries to be desperately take control of the ball as Zafair tries to set up Flav, return the favour for that earlier goal, but not going to quite come through once again. Approaching half-time, we're all evened up here between Servette and Silent Gaming, but Silent desperately need to find a way to break that cycle. Italy off the backboard. Oh, this is dangerous. Ooh. And Sack's going to take full control, and that is the cycle broken for Servette. They're going to take the lead back from Silent once again.
Yeah, just when there's a little bit of hope there for Silent, and Sack just absolutely crank it up to 11, showing off what for them just feels like normal plays from here, but no, for others it would just be so hard to pull those off with such masterful accuracy.
Well, Italy Taking control of them was that midfield as we approach half-time. Cap's going to put a shot on, and Servette's going to take that shot off, immediately put it out towards that blue corner. Italy, another great sell towards the midfield, but it's just not going to happen. No one from Silent looks to be set up as appropriate. Once again, it'll go off the back ball. That's another dangerous ball that Captic set up this time. 3-1 now. Servette punishing Silent for every little mistake they make. And they are really, really paying the price.
They are here, like you said, the clearance just not good enough, setting up near enough a backward pass there for Flav. But he is going to make it count. 2 minutes and 22 seconds left for this. 2 goals separating these two teams. Is it just whittling down the clock and getting this game done and dusted with, and, you know, Silent Gaming will be looking for next week? Or are they going to be trying to close this out? Their players, it's got to be good sportsmanship for them to try and get this win as hard as they can, you know?
Yeah, 2 goals is not the worst situation to be at. You can certainly make it up, and that's going to be an opportunity for Italy to try see if we can put that all-important 2, but it's not going to happen on the part of Servette. He defends it once again and gets it all the way out towards the orange corner. Starting to sense a bit of pattern right here. Both teams, well, in particular, Servette's managed to always defend and clear so easily. Ball out into the midfield, sack. Challenge eventually be a 1. Syntax going to take control as well. Cactic already set himself up with the backboard. Good shot in. Can he take the secondary shot? Yes, he can. No, actually, he can't. He puts it off once again. Italy to try to dunk it down. He misses of his own accord. And that's just not the way that Silent wanted that whole thing to go. Desperately trying to get that 1 goal and try to see if they can equalise it off the back of that, but it's just not happening at all.
Silent players colliding as well as they're trying to rotate out and then, of course, get the ball at the same time. Nothing going right for Silent here. They do still have a minute. Syntax trying to go for those solo plays, can't keep control of the ball. They've got to pull some trick out of the hat, some sort of magic here in this dying minute, essentially.
Ball in for Servette. Gonna get missed. Daly takes it away, but 50 seconds remain for Silent Gaming. So they desperately need to score a goal right now. Syntax fed in by Cactic. Italy out to the other side on the defensive. Sat's going to put it out to Flav for the redirect set up for Servette to dunk it down. He's going to find a good shot, but a little bit too high and a little bit too wide. So once again, it goes back to the favour of Italy. He takes it all the way towards that blue box. No one on the other side to receive it as he's challenged. The 30-second gong does sound, so last chance saloon here for Silent Gaming to try and take control of this series. The ball is out in their enemy's half. Italy will have the ball control, challenged by Servette. Demo on to sack. If Cactic can get it into the offensive position, that'll be all right, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. The final 10 seconds tick by. Last chance with 1 more opportunity to try and turn this to their favour. Ball will go into the midfield, but Servette's going to clear it, and that's going to be the end of it. 1 more goal to be taken. Cactic will defend against it, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be a Servette Geneva victory, a 3-0 sweep. Silent, this is going to go down as one of their rougher weeks throughout the league play season.
It is, especially since they will have to go up against Servette next week. So it's like a back-to-back. Hopefully they can right their wrongs. You know, that back-to-back series, they can go over it all this week and plan for that next week game. Synox hopefully back. I think it was a big difference. We saw there in the third game, the actual biggest reason why they're able to get their first goal came down to Cactic. Cactic really performed in that third one. He stepped up, and it all came down to, I think it was Italy and Syntax focusing more on their defense. Syntax, unfortunately, not being able to get the crucial saves needed. It's just a sour game, essentially. And I think we should just look on to the next one.
Yeah, I think that might be the best course of action here, Bacon. Of course, Silent falling 3-0 to Servette. We're going to reinstate their position at the top of the table. Maybe Lawsane can do the same and tie things up later on during the day. That match is coming up later on against the Monks. But for now, we've got Arctic taking on the Whiff Masters next up on stream, so don't go anywhere. The TCS eSports League will continue after this break.